Seeing this scene fills me with deep sorrow and sadness. Watching the elderly Ukrainian top grandmaster, chess legend Vasyl Ivanchuk in tears after losing a game in the 2024 the Blitz Chess Championship. It is truly heartbreaking. I can fully understand this because it happens a lot in chess. Even me myself, when I'm like having a victory within reach, but then just losing it in a few moves, it's devastating. I can even recall that when I was in a very important tournament, a few, I think like a while ago, I was reaching a position where I was just entirely winning, but then both of us are under time pressure. I mean, my opponent is under time pressure and also has a worse position, but I just have too many pressure. I want to win, but then somehow just blunder the whole game away, and I just couldn't help like not like I just couldn't control my feelings, but I just fall in tears. And this is exactly what happened here. As a chess player, this is something we inevitably experience throughout our lives, and games that seem won but are ultimately lost, especially in crucial moments, that is even more devastating. It can completely break you. I try my best to hold back my emotions whenever these kind of phenomenons happen, but after leaving the playing hall, I often want to find a quiet place to cry alone, and sometimes I turn to my parents for comfort. And sometimes, if it's just something too devastating, like you're losing a game where it is just a dead win, I sometimes even cry in front of the chessboard. I mean, it happens a lot to all of the chess players, basically. Some of you might say that, like chess builds resilience, but that's simply not true. I mean, on the contrary, the longer you play, the longer you get involved into this game, the more invested you become in the outcome of each game. Each game's result means more to you. The importance of winning grows with throughout the time, and losing becomes even more painful. At least in general, I mean. For those who lack strong resilience or mental fortitude, such devastating losses can even just lead to quit. Some of them just quit chess entirely. So chess doesn't necessarily build resilience. Those who persevere often have strong mental resilience to begin with. Thinking again about the image of Ivanchuk in tears. I mean, he is a chess legend in the whole world, in chess history. He is a chess legend. And I mean, losing a game like that, I think Ivanchuk has lost many games like that, where he was supposed to win but then lost. They're all very devastating, but this is the very recent time that he, cried after losing a winning game. And I also sincerely hope that he has managed to regain his composure. I mean, even though the tournament is already over, but still, there are many upcoming tournaments for him, and I hope that he gets his revenge and play better chess. And also, one detail that I noticed in the video where Ivanchuk was crying after the game was that his opponent, Daniel Naroditsky, just stayed seated in front of him. And he just, he was sitting there, didn't know what to do because everything just happened so quickly. They were under time pressure, only a few seconds. Then, Daniel was losing the whole time, but then he suddenly won. He won on time, and also, if he hadn't won on time, Ivanchuk has already blundered the game away. And then, after the game, Ivanchuk immediately started crying. And Daniel just doesn't know what to do, and he just sat there, and instead of immediately leaving where he is definitely able to, he just, sat there. And this actually, shows Daniel's emotional intelligence and empathy, which is something truly touching. All right, so what exactly happened in the game that is so heartbreaking? Let's take a quick look. So here also we have, I here put Ivanchuk's like homepage on chess.com here. He is now, he is from Ukraine and he is now 55 years old, so already considered as like one of the like elder chess players. Here's his like very quick introduction. So Ivanchuk is a Ukrainian grandmaster and world chess player. He was the #2 player in the world on 3 separate occasions and made it to the 2002 FIDE World Championship Finals. He has won many international tournaments, including the Tel Memorial, Linares Bill, these are 2 tournaments, the Gibraltar Masters, the MTEL Masters. And Ivanchuk won the 2004 European Individual Championship, the 2007 World Blitz Championship, and the 2016 World Rapid Championship. He has defeated every classical and FIDE world champion after Grandmaster Bobby Fischer, from Grandmaster Anatoly Karpov through reigning world champion Grandmaster Magnus Carlsen. So we see that he is a very legendary player. But today let's take a look at this game where everything just happened really fast. It's a blitz game, so the quality of the game is not really that high comparing to classical games or rapid games, but of course there are still many ups and downs. Ivanchuk is with the white pieces, Dania with the black pieces. And if you guys don't know, Daniel Naroditsky is a very famous streamer, but also a very strong player. He specializes in he is really strong, especially in blitz, in fast chess, and us followers or subscribers to him, we also call him Dania. So Daniel with the black pieces, he played knight f6, c4, g6, and here we have the King's Indian defense. F3 was played, so this is the other line. E4, d6, bishop e3, short castle, and knight c3. So here we have the Zemish opening, not opening but variation of the King's Indian defense. Knight c3, a6, bishop d3, knight f d7, knight g2. This is all normal. c5, putting some pressure in the center. And here Ivanchuk decided to close up the center with d5. And here knight e5 was played, a4. Now it's actually, you don't really have to worry about losing the bishop here, because this d3 bishop is just considered as a defending bishop, because all of the pawns are on light squares. So this bishop basically only has defending uses. And if black wants to trade it off, use the knight to trade this very passive bishop off the board, white is fine with it. And in the game here, Ivanchuk played a4 because let's say if he goes short castle, now the main problem is that there's, for example, knight takes d3, queen takes d3, and b5. This happens a lot, where black just sacrifices a pawn, and actually here it is not even a sacrifice. If you take on b5, after a takes b5, you necessarily, you don't really want to take on b5. If you take with the knight, you lose the b2 pawn, and if you take with the queen here, there's actually bishop a6, very messy, but black is gonna be having a lot of compensation and counterplay on the queen side with the bishop here. Now in the game, a4 was played, and here knight bd7, this is all really fast. b3. Now b3, I'm not really in favor of this move. A more active play by white is actually to go f4 to attack the knight, and after takes, to get rid of this very annoying e5 knight and then gaining control of the e5 square so that this knight can never jump to here. And here the engine suggests g5 for black, but this is just way too aggressive, and for white g3, you just need to defend everything, even considering long castle in the future. Short castle is also possible. The king is really safe right now, so you don't really have to worry about your king's safety. Black has some issues here on the development on the queen side. But right now in the game, b3 was played, supporting the c4 pawn. This is all fine. Takes, but now f5 was played. F5, here basically white doesn't need to do anything, can just basically go short castle or something. Even taking on F5 is possible. But in the game, Ivanchuk played this small inaccuracy. He played Rook D1, which I don't really understand, because Rook D1, there's just no reason for you to place this rook on D1 because it doesn't really do anything. Black is not going to push the E pawn, so the D file will never be open up. And why put your rook on this closed file instead of just keeping it on the queen side, even going like rook B1, B4 ideas. And rook D1, now there's B5, which now shows the issue that if the rook had stayed on A1, there'll never be B5 coming because black is under this pin. So after rook D1, Dania immediately played B5, and after C takes B5, A takes B5, A takes B5, even though white is now up a pawn, but it's a double pawn. Also, black has the bishop pair. It's a double pawn, and I think black can also slide in with the rook at some point. Also, you have to be aware of the time both sides have right now. Ivanchuk only has 47 seconds left on the clock, where Dania still has 2 minutes left on the clock. And this is Blitz chess. So I think Ivanchuk really needs to pace up. Like, he really needs to speed up. Knight e5 was played. Queen c2. Okay, he played this move immediately, actually. F takes e4. Knight takes e4. You don't want to take with the pawn because then it will be impossible for you to go short castle because the rook cuts off this file. That's why you take with the knight. And after queen a5 check, knight c3 block, knight f3. This is actually a move that is brilliant. Here, if you play something else like bishop f5, which is also possible, bishop f5, it is also better for black because white has some issues in development. Also, the pieces are somehow uncoordinated. They're like defending each other, but at the same time, they're all being attacked by the opponent. So it's very messy. But in the game, Dania found the best move, which is to go knight f3. And here after g takes f3, the point is that after rook f3, even though black is down material, down a full piece, that is, but you see that white's king is in the center. Also, black has very pins here, many pins here, putting pressure on the knights. Also right now attacking the bishop. It's really messy, and you can see that here actually Dania spent he spent some minutes here thinking on these couple of moves, but I think he definitely saw this knight f3 and he was just trying to check if it works. And after takes, here king e2 would have been the best move here to attack the rook, also defend the bishop, but probably Ivanchuk was afraid of bishop g4 ideas because that might run into some discovered attacks. But, bishop g4, you can just go rook a1. There's basically nothing for black here. The rook can go, for example, to f1 if you like, but then after here, this definitely needs a lot of calculation, but after queen c1, you'll find that this is completely fine for white, and it will likely end in a draw. But however, in the game, both sides didn't have enough time, and Ivanchuk instead played king d2, which is a mistake. But then here, and Dania blundered. He should have played something. If you wanted to take on c3, it is possible, but the move here, queen b4, wins on the spot because it allows the rook to slide in at some point. Also, the queen is attacking everything. It also creates some very good attacking ideas at some point. Queen b4 wins immediately on the spot. But it's a very quiet move and not easy to spot. And that's why in the game, bishop d4 was played instead. But this is just a blunder. Blundering rook a1. Also, queen b4 is running away from rook a1, just so you know, because white is threatening to go here. Is threatening to go here on the next move to win the rook, which Dania unfortunately missed. And after rook a1, bishop takes e3, king e2. But it would have been much better for the king to play to be on e2 at the first place instead of playing king d2, but it doesn't matter. Right now, both sides only have about 10 seconds on the clock, so it's really fast. Bishop g4, It's really messy, even though like black is down material. It's gonna be down material after rook a5, rook a5. But I mean, white's king is still under a lot of pressure here. Like the pieces are all aiming towards it. It's still kind of messy. King d3, okay, very nice. Bishop d4, king c4, the king is now safe. Bishop f5, queen d2, okay, no problems with that. But you can actually just start pushing the pawn if you want, and it's going to be winning. But however, in the game, queen d2 was played, and now Ivanchuk only has 5 seconds left on the clock. Dania has 15 seconds. This is really exciting. Bishop takes c3, knight takes c3, e5, rook e1. Okay, maybe not the best move. Here you can actually just go knight e4 because you're attacking the rook as well, and it's going to be winning on the spot. But rook e1 doesn't matter, it's still winning. Here Ivanchuk still has 7 seconds left on the clock. Dania has 5 seconds. Rook f4. Queen takes f4, takes. Now you can see that black is, even though black is up a pawn, but white is going to be promoting after a few moves. Now it's 6 seconds versus 6 seconds. Knight e4 first, very accurate. Bishop takes, rook takes, we're into a rook and pawn endgame. Black starts to push the pawn, white pushes the pawn. Black retreats back, but now go up with the king, f3, rook e1, g4. Here, Ivanchuk has 7 seconds versus 3 seconds. King d6, this is just completely winning. h5, king d6, taking a pawn. You can actually just start pushing this pawn, and if you go rook b8, there's king c7, rook f8, for example. You just promote, and this is going to be winning because, okay, there might be some sort of calculation, but as long as you play rook f1 here, this is completely winning because white is going to be much, much faster. This is just going to be completely winning. But then things started to go wrong. h4. And here, rook f1 would have been immediately winning because g3, you take, and you just simply take on f3 here. That's it. It's over. But in the game, rook g1 was played. And it's over, basically. Black is the side who is winning, but has to play this g3 move because takes. Oops, sorry, not that. But f2, and now there's h takes g3, and it's over. g2 is coming. So that is why you have to go rook f1 because g3 takes. There's rook f3. That is the big difference. But right now it is 4 seconds versus 4 seconds. Basically, we can't, both sides can't really see anything. And also, as you can see in the video, Dania is trying really hard to control, trying really hard to centralize his idea to focus on the position, and also Ivanchuk is kind of feeling a little bit shaky but trying his best, blitzing on each move, at least not to lose on time. But then there's actually Dania, he made a mistake here. He played f2 and white is still winning. Rook g4, great. King h7. But now you have to play this only move, which is to queen here, basically, because if you take, there's rook h4, it goes here, we gobble up this pawn. This pawn is going to be promoting. This is definitely winning. And if you go here, just so you know, if black promotes, white is the side who is going to, give the check first, and after rook f7, probably rook h4 checks, something like this. It's kind of messy because queen f6 is coming, but after king g7, you first give a couple of checks and probably go queen c8, queen e6, and it's winning. It's still winning, but just a little bit messy, needs some calculation. But however, in the game, Ivanchuk played rook h4. We can't really blame him because he only has 5 seconds left. He played rook h4, king g6, and if he had played rook f4, this still might be there are still some chances for him to save the position. It is already worse for him, but after here, queen, he is the first to queen, and maybe he still has some chances to check black's king. But he played rook g4, and it's completely over. And after this move, he lost on time. And then the thing that we just saw in the video happened. He's broke into tears, and Dania was just doesn't really know what to do, and just sitting there really heartbreaking. A heartbreaking loss because Ivanchuk had so many options here. He missed rook f1, but before that, he can actually just play b7 here. But then he missed completely all of these chances under time pressure. Daniel outplayed him in the when they're both under time pressure, and that's really unfortunate, I think. So this is one of the biggest drama that happened in the 2024 FIDE Blitz Chess Championship. Something that is really heartbreaking. This game, I'm not saying it is an excellent game, but I just want to affirm you guys that when you are playing in a tournament, you are playing a game where you are the side who is going to be winning. You know that you're going to win no matter what, and you're all under time pressure. Just be sure to control your feelings. You just have to think that it's a normal game. It's just a normal game. You have to control your feelings. You have to control your excitement. Like, it's not over yet because still accidents can happen when both sides are under time pressure, and that's it. But anyways, one of the biggest drama that happened in 2024 FIDE World Blitz Chess Championship, and really heartbreaking. That's all I can say. But anyways, thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.